You've heard me talk about the decimation of culture as part of this scamdemic that we're witnessing at the moment, especially in southern Europe. Well, this obviously extends to countries like the UK, as you know, and if you aren't aware of the Kalergi plan, you really should start looking into this, because it is a facet of this scamdemic and the cultural destruction of individual ideas, beliefs, and even social ways has been fully underway across Europe and in the UK for the past 2 decades. So today the Daily Mail ran an article, and there's two ways every time, sorry about that, there's 2 ways you could look at this. The headline is this: now they want to ration beer. Britons could face 2 or 3 pint limit when pubs reopen. Or you could read that headline: now they want to ration beer, because I'll explain in a second. So let me read it like that. Now they want to ration beer. Britons could face 2 or 3 pint limit when pubs reopen. It goes on to say, pubs could reopen if landlords rationed beer to 2 or 3 pints per customer and then asked them to go home to help with social distancing measures, it has been claimed. First of all, to go to a pub and drink beer, you've got to be over 18, which makes you an adult. So now they're trying to tell you that if you do go to a pub, you can only, and don't forget, you're not at war, have 2 or 3, and then you can be asked to go home to help with social distancing. So I'll continue. This is why the headline is important to me. Lockdown advisor Professor Eyal Winter of Lancaster University. Remember that, lockdown advisor Professor Eyal Winter of Lancaster University said people were starving for pubs, which he described as an important part of British culture. So you think Eyal Winter, that's an interesting name, isn't it? That's a very Cabal sounding name. Let's have a look. Eyal Winter is a professor of economics and director of the Centre for the Study of Rationality at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, one of the world's leading institutions in the academic study of decision making. So this is the lockdown advisor, Professor Eyal Winter of Lancaster University. However, Google suggests otherwise, and I'm sure he's operating for both, but we also know that he would be a card-carrying FOI, and therefore his allegiances lie outside of the UK, and he's fully behind this plan to decimate UK culture. Pubs are shutting down at a rate, or have been shutting down at a rate in the UK, which is alarming for decades. So this is one of the final nails in the coffin for British people to meet up and discuss anything. I'll continue with the article. Mr. Winter, an economist, advising politicians on how to ease the coronavirus restrictions, said social distancing would have to be enforced if pubs reopen. One possible result of his proposals would be to stagger the number of people going into pubs over the course of a day to avoid them getting very full at one. I'm sure the landlords are just going to love that, aren't they? He also told The Guardian, here we go, that those flouting the rules should be fined amid fears some people would behave unacceptably as soon as lockdown measures cease. Who the hell is this guy from the university in Jerusalem, the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, working in the UK, threatening British culture in this way? It goes on. He said theatres and cinemas could reopen, but only selling half as many tickets as normal, with gaps in seating and higher prices to cover lower revenue. And we know who owns all the cinemas and theatres, don't we, people? Mr. Winter said Britain should follow the approach of the Germans, with clear dates and targets on reducing restrictions as the country leaves the lockdown. He told the newspaper, one of the most important things is to have a programme to say, in 2 weeks we will do such and such. You need to make rules crystal clear and explain the rationale behind each one of them. On Saturday, another government advisor said that beer gardens should be allowed to reopen to drinkers. On Saturday, another government advisor said that beer gardens should be allowed to reopen to drinkers. Really correlate to what I've just read out from above, does it? I'll continue. Pubs have been shut since the UK went on lockdown on March the 23rd, but Professor Robert Dingwall said it's time to relax the rules. Well, a bit of common sense from Robert Dingwall. If it's a sunny weekend afternoon and the pub has a garden and the landlords are prepared to accept responsibility for not overcrowding that garden, I see no particular reason why it should not reopen, he told BBC4's Today programme. Good on him. As lockdown set in late last month, the police were on alert to close any pubs or bars that refused to comply with the government's shutdown of social venues. There's lots of other things, but I won't read them out because it's pretty boring. I also noticed that in the UK, McDonald's, Burger King, KFC will be reopening and delivering, as I said in videos previously, but the smaller businesses won't. So it's obvious that, which corporations are benefiting now, isn't it? And another quick update on some news. I don't know if you remember, I made a video referring to friends in Italy who hadn't been paid, and they were due to be paid in a couple of weeks. This was about a month, 6 weeks ago actually, and surprise, surprise, they've received no money. So they've received no money in Italy and haven't been working. To give you an idea, and you won't be seeing this splashed across the media, obviously. So it's the shit show continues. Tune in tomorrow for more shit show news. Cheers, everyone.